everybody. We're so grateful to be here with you, or good afternoon, or good evening, or whatever time it may be, wherever you may be. We're going to do a little song by Jules Graves, since we have our sister Namasia here with us. So this is Grandmother's Back, and then another song called People of the Earth Tribe, both written by the amazing Jules Graves.
Yeah, check her out.
Grandmother's back being bent to the ground by the oppressor man, pressing down, down, down.
I said, grandmother's back being bent to the ground by the oppressor man, pressing down, down.
Oppressor man, see what you're doing. Oppressor man, creating a ruin. Oppressor man, hear what we're saying. Oppressor man, be changing your ways now. Her body is not a commodity. Her body is not a commodity, not a product to be bought nor sold, not to be mined for oil and gold. She is not a product to be bought nor sold, not to be mined for oil and gold. You see, she gives all she has to give. She gives so that we can live. She makes all the world alive. Without her, we can't survive. So wake up, na 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 na. Wake up, people, hear the call. Say wake up, na 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 na. Wake up, children, one and all. Disposable society we're living in today. Disposable society gonna throw itself away. Gonna throw itself away. Grandmother's back. Grandmother's back. Grandmother's back. Grandmother's back. Some may say namaste. Some say Om Atakri I say. Some say Om and others say Shalom. We all call Mama Earth our home. Respect her, protect her. Now rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. People of the earth tribe, 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 rise up. Concrete's the door, creating a war, oppressing the poor. What you fighting for? So hard they tried to conquer, divide, but we unify. We will not be denied. People of the earth tribe, rise up. People of the earth tribe, rise unite. People of the earth tribe, rise up. People of the earth tribe, rise high. Love is the answer to every question. Love is the answer. Love is the answer to every question. Love is the answer. Love is the answer to every question. Love is the answer. Love is the answer to every question. Love is the answer. People of the earth tribe, rise up. People of the earth tribe, rise unite. People of the earth tribe, rise up. People of the earth tribe, rise high.
Oh, thank you so much. Yay. That's Love Eternal. Jarrett and Shauna Namaste, joined by Namasia Carpenter. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you so much for that beautiful musical invocation. Welcome to Inner Light Ministries. Welcome to our Sunday morning celebration. Regardless of the time that you are and wherever it is that you are, there's always a morning that's taking place. There's always an internal sun that's rising, a brightness, a beginning of a new day. Your new day is not some time on the clock. It's whenever you awake. And a lot of times, that moment of awakening isn't first thing in the morning. So whenever you wake up, that's good morning. And I'm really hoping that this message today helps to bring morning into your life. I'm Reverend Deborah Johnson, and it's such a pleasure always to be here with you. I love technology, so that no matter where it is that you are, you could be in your bedroom right now, you could be walking the dog, you could be on an airplane, you could be anywhere. Isn't that just extraordinary? But it reminds me of something that Martin Luther King Jr. said, that how our technologies have made of our world a neighborhood, but we have yet to have made ourselves a brotherhood. So don't be fooled that just because we can bring people close in and see them on screens and all the rest of that, that means that we're connected. We still have some work to do. Spiritually speaking, we're all connected. But don't let the technologies tear us even further apart. Okay? So may this usage of technology be a blessing to you this day. May it help to unleash within you your spiritual powers, your capacities. We're here to remind you of the truth of who you are. You're magnificent. You are amazing. A you has never been before, and a you will never be again. And with all of that exquisite uniqueness that you have, you are still intricately part of the whole. You are not a separate entity, but an individualized expression of the only thing that is. I'm getting a picture now of leaves on a tree. Every leaf is distinct, but none of them would be alive except for their connection to the tree. They all come forth and out of the tree. And it's kind of fallacious for the trees on the higher branches to be talking about how they better than the leaves on the lower branches. Or the newer ones to think that they're that much better than the older ones because the older ones are turning some different colors. All leaves from the same tree. Just breathe that in for a moment. All leaves from the same tree. And the sooner we figure that out, the better our individual and collective experience is going to be. But in order to really figure that out, it means that we're going to have to shift. We're going to have to change. Everybody wants to transform, but nobody wants to change. It reminds me of something we used to say in the Black church. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. But it's like that. That for us to truly transform, we're going to have to die to our old ways. For us to really transform, it means that there are ideas and paradigms and principles and precepts and processes and practices and all these different things that we have been involved in. They're done. They're done. Just like when the leaf's time is complete, it falls off. Can't hang on there forever. Because a new form, a new one's going to come forth. It's the same way. Nothing in the outer world lasts forever. In scripture, it says that you can't put new wine in old skins. The skins are like a flask. You know, the wine is effervescent. It expands. So the new wine needs a tougher skin. It needs something new. If you put the new wine in an old skin from a former wine, that skin is all stretched out and it can't handle the intensity and the power of the effervescence of the new wine. Hence, that's where we are everywhere. Our skins are breaking. They're breaking all over the place. They're breaking economically. They're breaking politically. They're breaking in our relationships. They're breaking all over the place. But that's good news. Instead of crying about the wine that's spilling from the skins that can't hold it, make new skins. We're here to make some new skins. We're here to enlarge our spiritual territory so that we have the capacity to be the places and spaces in the universe through which the divine can pour forth itself. Every week, we offer you tools for living. And one of the tools is our affirmative activations. 100 words. 100 words to change your life. 100 words to help you shift and really transform, to recalibrate, to get us off of automatic pilot, to awaken us from the hypnotic trances that have had us focused on things so long that we're hypnotized by it, failing to see the possibilities beyond it. We're here to wake up. And I promise you that if you dare to use these affirmative activations, not just as you say them with me now, but come back, repeat them long enough for them to germinate and gestate inside of you, to root inside of you, so that they don't become words anymore. You're the embodiment of the frequency and the vibration that they represent. Oh, things will change. Because remember, your life is not what's going on. It's your interpretation. Your experience is your interpretation. Everything about life is a narrative. So we're here to help you shift that narrative, so that what you're feeding yourself and feeding your mind, what you keep reinforcing, what becomes your belief system, the only reason why you believe it is because you reinforced it in your head. What are you reinforcing? Let's put some good stuff up in there. So if you are able to, right now in real time, I invite you to say these affirmations with me as they appear on your screen. Today's topic is spiritual surrender versus defeat. There's a wisdom and an intelligence that governs the universe. I resonate with its intelligence and harmonize with its rhythm. Things are not out of control just because I'm not in control. My faith empowers me to trust in evidence not yet seen. Spiritual surrender is not defeat. Spiritual surrender is the recognition that there is no fight. I don't have to dominate over anything. There's nothing to prove and no one to prove it to. I stopped shadow boxing with myself. The divine can never be defeated. One with the divine, I can never be defeated. Just breathe that in. And I'm going to invite Love Eternal to come back for a moment and share a musical offering to help cultivate our consciousness.
Yeah, here we are again. So we're gonna do a song for you called "All Is Well" because all is well indeed. And I also want to let you know that we have a brand new album coming out that you can pre-order now. loveeternal.bandcamp.com. Maybe by the time you watch this video, it'll already be out, but there's tracks already you can listen to, and also our website, loveeternal.org. Yeah. There's a new day on the rise, so we give it one more try. We got grand visions of peace, 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 peace. We got grand visions of love, 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 love. All is well with my soul, all is well with my soul, and all is well. All is well with my soul, all is well with my soul, and all is well. All is well with my soul, all is well with my soul, and all is well. All is well with my soul, all is well. All is well. All is well. Every step is a step on a solid foundation. Every breath that we breathe is a true, true blessing. And this life that we live on a sacred mission to reveal the Most High. Lift up the vibration of the planet, the people, we are all connected. Every being here deserves our respect and forgive all that's come before and after. Fill my heart with the sound of sacred laughter, for love is shared from the children to the elders. As we gather and witness to the splendor of this light, where we learn and we grow. All is well with my soul. All is well with my soul. All is well with my soul, and all is well. All is well with my soul. All is well with my soul, and all is well. All is well with my soul. All is well with my soul, and all is well. All is well with my soul. All is well. All is well. All right, Namaste. Why don't you give us a little something? New day on the rise, so we give it one more try. We got grand visions of peace, 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 peace. We got grand visions of love, 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 love. And we are pulled by the vision, pulled by the vision. We are pulled by the vision, pulled by the vision. We are on a sacred mission, on a sacred mission. We are pulled by the vision, pulled by the vision. Thank you guys. Aloha.
Thank you. That's Love Eternal. I'm sure you want to check out their music. Just some really, really, really profound lyrics in particular. Prophetic word for sure. Just take a breath. Take a breath. Our topic today is spiritual surrender versus defeat. I often say that English is not a language of the spirit. We don't have words to really describe the spiritual experience. So unfortunately, we wind up taking secular words and putting spiritual meanings to them. And it gets to be very confusing sometimes, like what exactly it is that you're talking about particularly when the spiritual meeting is the complete antithesis, the complete opposite of the secular meeting. The case in point, the word surrender. In the secular world, surrender means defeat. That's not what surrender means in the spiritual world that I'll be talking about. I know this was very hard. It was very perplexing to me. You know, when I first started coming on a more universal spiritual teaching, I studied with religious science, science of mind, and the new thought groups like Unity and Agape. And I was like, you know, I wasn't quite getting it from my Pentecostal background. I knew they were onto something, but the way that they were characterizing it wasn't the language that I had been familiar with. Ultimately, we're all saying the same thing, but I was personally finding a different level of empowerment and a different way to have a personal relationship with the divine by looking through these new lenses. One of the things that they would talk about was grounding, and that we were going to get grounded. I remember thinking, you ain't going to ground me, because all I could hear is my father, who, bless his heart, yesterday, if he was still alive, would have been 100 years old. Happy birthday, Dad. But I can hear my dad right now saying, you know, you're grounded, little lady. The only time I ever knew the word grounded was punishment. I didn't know the word grounded as anchoring, as solidly rooted. So I had to kind of rearrange, like Etch-a-Sketch, like shake some stuff out of my head that I had grown accustomed to make some room for some new ideas and some new concepts. Vulnerability in the secular sense is a weakness. That means that you're kind of prey. You're open and susceptible to all kind of harm and danger coming your way. Vulnerability in a spiritual sense? Oh no. Vulnerability isn't that you're open to danger. You're open to the power. You've dropped your ego armor. You've dropped your defenses. You're not trying to push and make things happen on your own anymore. There's a humility that's there, kind of like in a 12-step program, where that humbling moment of recognizing that there's a power greater than you are doesn't make you weaker, it makes you stronger. You're drinking because you don't know that. And when you don't know that, you feel weak. So what's really the real vulnerability? Is it your fear that anybody and everything is going to get you and you've got to anesthetize yourself with it, with drugs or alcohol or act out? Or is it this place that I'm going to be talking about of this surrender where we can put all of that down because we are aware that we don't need it? That we don't need it. So often the things that we think are saving us from our problems are more part of the problem. They're more part of the problem. This place of spiritual surrender is this place where we recognize. And I refer to it as a place because it's a space in consciousness. It's a state of being. It's not an action or an activity. In the secular sense, defeat is a moment. It's a moment, and it's an activity where you cave in, where when you in the surrender secular sense, you admit you've been defeated, and you throw your hands up and you admit that the other person has overpowered you and you stop fighting, not because you think you're going to win, you stop fighting because you believe you can't win. See, that's secular surrender. You stop fighting because you think you can't win. Spiritual surrender is just the opposite. You stop fighting so you can win. Just let that sink in for a moment. You stop fighting so you can win. Part of the problem when we get into the energy of fighting is that it can't be contained. Energy can't be contained, any kind of energy. So when you start hating, you can't just hate one thing. You can't just hate in the particular. When you're mad or you're angry, you can't contain that and bottle it and only have that anger go towards the one thing that's upset you the most. If you are in the energy in the field of anger, it's going to spill out everywhere. This is true for everything. You can't just love in the particular. Notice how when you fall in love, you just love everything. Everything looks better. Fewer people get on your nerves. You start to see wonderful things all around you. You notice plants that you pass every day. You actually realize that some people aren't so bad after all when you're in that state of being in love, because the love just goes everywhere. Well, it's the same thing. When you're fighting, you're not fighting in the particular. You're just fighting. And when you're always fighting, you don't know who to trust. You don't know who to trust. This is part of the problem when we organize ourselves around pain and not vision. As an organizational consultant, I see this happen all the time. It's kind of a cannibalism, where if you have a bunch of wounded people who come together around their woundedness, and they're always feeling victimized by something and thinking everybody else is always out to get them, they're going to start feeling that way about each other eventually. Listen to what I'm saying. This stuff is important, not just for you on a personal level, but if you want to be there in the long haul and make a difference on a larger global transformational level, you need to listen up. I have been an activist for decades, all kind of lifetime achievement awards and all that. And I am telling you, as sure as I am talking to you now, I have never, ever seen an activist give up because the work is so hard. Ever. Oh, there's just so much homophobia. What am I ever going to do? Oh, this racism is just on and on and on. When is it ever going to stop? No. When people pick up their bat and ball and get out of the movements and stop trying, it isn't because they're so frustrated with the so-called opposition. They're tired of each other. They're tired of each other. They have, it's like friendly fire, quote unquote, they call it in the military, where you get shot by the people wearing the same uniform as you. It's like that. Busy shooting each other. It's the same thing on a personal level. Have you ever tried to, quote unquote, save somebody who was angry and distrustful and mistrustful? You might have come in thinking that you were the hero. 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, 20 years later, you're going to be the enemy. Because when you walk around thinking everything, if you walk around like you're a hammer, then everything looks like a nail. I'm just saying. If you want to be happy, if you want to be fulfilled, if you want to live in the beloved community, if you want to feel the joy and the power of God, you have to surrender. You have to surrender all these things that I'm talking about. You have to lay them down. You got to lay it down. The point of spiritual surrender is that point of the recognition, I don't have to do this. See, when you don't know who you are, you're busy trying to get affirmed through the eyes of other people. You're busy trying to get validated by people, places, and things, whatever. I can remember those days when I was an angry gay activist, in the early days of the movement, right after Stonewall and all of the rest of that. And I just like snap. I hear a bunch of homophobic stuff and whatnot and fight and argue. And, I've been in the trenches, my former partner and I set precedent for the inclusion of sexual orientation as a civil rights issue, set the precedent for that back in '84. I've been doing this stuff a long time. But you know what? Back then I had a certain insecurity. Back then a part of me wasn't sure. Back then I had internalized the homophobia that I had heard in the church, seen in the social media, even the law. Back then I was halfway through college before it stopped being a felony in the state of California. And as I began to surrender the fight, what led me to surrender the fight was to begin to know and understand who I was. That I had to love me. I had to validate me. If I wasn't validating me, it didn't matter. It didn't matter what anybody else was doing or saying. I want you to really hear what I'm saying. We do this all the time in other relationships. With our careers, we're walking around with chips on our shoulders, or we're walking around feeling insecure, and then we get desperate, and then we got to fight to make this happen, or to make this change, or to get this thing from this person or that person, and we can't be fulfilled until somebody does something else. Oh no. No. You got to know you're enough. You got to know that what you're looking for, you're looking with. You already are it. You already are free. You already are powerful. You already are sacred. Church can't make you sacred. No amount of church approval can do that. That's between you and your God. And when you know that, then you can surrender all that other stuff. Don't get me wrong here. I'm not saying that there's not work to be done. If you think about the feminist movement, the civil rights movement, or any movement, those people marching in the streets were fighting, quote unquote, the good fight. But they weren't just fighting. They weren't duking it out. They were fighting with spiritual tools. They were fighting with spiritual weapons. They knew who they were so much that they met the fight by not fighting. Listen to what I'm saying. They were fighting for and with love. Not picking up the weapons, because people were picking up weapons at them. Not trying to get white people to affirm their equality. No. They marched in the streets knowing they were equal. Knowing they were equal. And demanding that the unjust laws that were robbing them of their birthright to exercise their freedom and equality, those have to go. Listen to what I'm saying. Not legislate something that's going to make me equal. Take off the restrictions. Take the shackles off and the bonds off, so that I can be the free person that I already am. But if I'm still fighting you, thinking you got my power, I'm never going to find it. Have you ever tried to take your power back from somebody? Have you ever done that? Yeah, lots of luck. You can't take your power back from somebody. You know why you can't take your power back? Because they don't have it. They don't have it. They don't. The only thing that you can do is stand up and exercise your own power. Listen to what I'm saying. Everything that you will ever be is already inside of you. Everything. Like a little seed. Everything that seed will ever be is encoded inside the seed now. All of the love you will ever have, all of the creativity, all of the strength, all of the balance, all of the fortitude, all of the faith, all of it is in you now. See it. What you're looking for, you're looking with. Surrender the external fight to try to get it from someplace else, to try to prove that you have it and get somebody else's acknowledgement or their approval. Because I'm telling you now, as long as you still think they have it, you'll never get it. As long as you think it's outside of you, you'll never get it. I'm reminded now of a story. Well, it's not a story that actually happened. In our prison outreach that we've been doing for 20-something years, the first lifer that we worked with who got out was a guy named Paul. And he got out after 28 years. So he came here to Santa Cruz, and we were sitting on these rocks that's out in a certain part of town. Santa Cruz is on the Monterey Bay, so we're right up against the ocean. So we're sitting on these rocks and we're watching the ocean. And I wanted to share with him an issue that I had had with him for a number of years. He had really frustrated me and upset me about something when he was in prison. So pretty much from the time we first met him, he would be coming up for parole ever so often. And as fate would have it, my ministry, Inner Light, would be in session with he and these other men when his parole hearing was. So he'd leave our session, go to the parole board, and it couldn't have been a half an hour or so most of the time, and he'd be back. And it was the same story. He kept saying that they kept telling him that he wasn't ready and this and that. And it made me crazy because if you ever saw the movie Shawshank Redemption, I forgot the actor, but like whoever the white dude was who was the main character, that was like this dude. He was like running the joint. He just 28 years never on lockdown. It was the most amazing thing. The wardens, everybody, we would get the 411 from him because he was the one that had access to everything. What do you mean you're not ready? In fact, the program that we've been doing all these years, he helped create it. He brought it to us, this program that we do called the Impact Program. So he finally got his clearance. Like, yay, he's getting out. Everything was set up. Yay. And then our former governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, yanked it. On his way out of office, he yanked 144 of these people who had had life, who were going to be free. Just boom. And of course, we were there when he found out that it was pulled. I lost it. I ain't lying. And I truly have learned from the guys in prison, particularly the lifers. I have learned patience from them, forgiveness from them. From him and some of the other ones, I have never heard them say a bad, negative word about anybody. They'll tell the truth about stuff that happens, but not in like this demonizing way. So he comes back, and I am furious. And he calls me Reverend. He says, Reverend, it's okay. He said, it's okay. It just means that my work here isn't finished. They're right. They're right. I'm not ready. I was furious because in my mind, I thought he let himself become defeated in the secular sense. That's what I thought. He eventually did get out, but I had been holding this frustration about what I thought was him caving in. And I just confronted him. I said, why would you say that? Why would you say you weren't ready? And he said, because I wasn't. And now I'm yelling at him. What are you talking about? And I will never forget what he told me. He said, the reason why I wasn't ready, Reverend, is I still thought that the parole board had my freedom. He said, I had to figure out I was already free. He said, and until I really got that. And he said, and you know who helped me to really understand that? I said, who? He said, Nelson Mandela. He said, Nelson Mandela said that freedom cannot be defined by 100 square feet of geography. Wow. I will never forget that. And then he explained to me how freedom and anger can never occupy the same space. That freedom and anger can never occupy the same space. And we went on to have some other conversations. And I invite all of you to check out a TEDx talk that I did, TEDx Berkeley in 2016, that captures these conversations that I had with these inmates about forgiveness and freedom. Freedom and anger cannot occupy the same space. When you're fighting on the inside, trying to get free, you'll never be free. When you know you're free, and you know that you're loving, and you know that you're whole, and you know that you're prosperous, when you know all that, then you just do like the people marching. Then you just do whatever it is you got to do so that the gap is closed between the spiritual truth and your human experience, bringing forth the highest heaven right here on earth. Thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. But you have to already be standing in that. To bring it forth, you got to already know it. You got to already feel it. So I know it feels counter. But to get where you really want to go, you have to do the spiritual surrender. Stop shadow boxing with yourself, with people, places, and things. I was so argumentative. Oh my God. It was a family trait. We literally argued for sport. I mean, that's what we did. It wasn't anybody cussing anybody out, but the debate, the arguing, literally, that's what we did. I'm grateful for it for a lot of reasons because it made me really articulate. But I don't need that kind of energy in my life anymore. Okay? I don't need it. For me, it wasn't so much that I always wanted to win. I didn't want to lose. See, there's a difference in that. To me, the defeat was not if I lost the game. That's okay. The defeat would be if you didn't let me play the game. And that's what I was fighting for, was the right. Don't take me out because of whatever, because I'm female, because I'm black, because I'm gay, because I'm black, whatever. Give me a chance to play. Give me a chance to play. You can't win every game. That's all right. But at least I'm on the field. At least I had a chance to give it a shot. That's what I was always fighting for. But then I had to realize that I just got to show up. I don't need to wait for anybody to put me on the team. Hey, if I need to, I'll start my own team. I'm just telling the truth. Okay, you won't ordain women? Okay, fine. I'll start my own church. Don't let the smallness of other people's thinking dictate the fullness of your life. You got to do you. You got to be you. What I finally figured out is that it doesn't matter what they call me, only what I answer to. And now when I hear that crazy, whatever, racist, homophobic, sexist, like whatever stuff, it's like, who are you talking about? Because I know you ain't talking about me. Furthermore, your comments about me say more about your consciousness than my character. What you say about me says more about you than it says about me. Get yourself free. Okay? Don't get caught up in all the struggles and the fight, because I'm telling you, it's so much better on the other side. Spiritual surrender is your ticket to freedom. There's nothing to prove. There's nobody to prove it to. Don't waste all your energy on somebody else's agenda. Sing your own song. Sing your own song. And I'm going to end on this. I don't know why, but I thought it was so cute. When Barack Obama was leaving office and he was sharing with the interviewers, what he was going to do with his life. And people were asking him like all these questions, what you going to do? And he says he was consulting his family. And Sasha says to him, his daughter, "Do you, Daddy? Do you?" I thought, how perfect. She's saying that to the President of the United States. Do you? And that's what I'm saying. Surrender all that other stuff. It's not defeat to let that go. Let it go so you can do you, not in the egotistical sense, but God has you here for a reason. And you can't fulfill your purpose being jerked around by everybody's strings. No, it's the economy. It's my relationship. No. Be free. Be free. Let's pray. Spirit of the living God, fall fresh on us this day. We are uplifted, we are inspired, we are encouraged. Lift us up where we belong. Plant our feet on higher ground. In this moment right now, I speak a word of gratitude. I speak a word of trust, of wholeness, of faith, the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. I speak my word of grace, the grace that is sufficient. The grace that is sufficient. It's unearned. It's not a merit system. It's not that you don't deserve it. You can't earn it. Because it's yours just because. I speak my word in this moment right now for peace. Peace in our homes. Peace around the world. Peace in our social political system. Peace in our communities. Peace in our jobs. Peace in our own heart, soul, and mind. Because somebody's calling your name. It sounds like freedom. Sounds like trust. Sounds like wholeness. We unleash in this moment right now the vitality that's pouring itself through us. Health, stamina, energy, strength, sustenance, prosperity, wealth, our cups overflowing with the goodness of the divine. Oh, if we had 10,000 tongues, it wouldn't be enough to say thank you. God is good all the time. All of the time. And because God is good all the time, my life is good all the time. Because in God I am living and moving and having my being. Just breathe that in. Steps ordered by the Lord. Wherever you lead, we will follow. Wherever you lead, we will follow. We will follow. We lay our burdens down by the riverside and study war no more. Oh, it's good. Into thy hands we commit our spirit. It's finished. It's done. We get out of the way. We allow it to be. And so it is. Amen. Ashe, shalom. Alhamdulillah. It is good. Amen. Let's just breathe. We're praying, folks. And I invite you, if you need a prayer, reach out. Reach out. You can contact us on our prayer line. Numbers going across your screen right now, 831-465-9090, extension 254. You can also send us an email at the number 4 prayer@innerlightministries.com. We got your back. We got your back in prayer. Wherever you are in the world, you don't have to do it alone. And let us stand with you in agreement. You know, where 2 or more gathered, and there's some power that goes through there. Confidential, 30-day, people who've trained for years to hold that space. Let it be a gift to you. Gift yourself with prayer. If you happen to be watching in real time, I invite you to come on in to fellowship with us a little bit. There's a group, there's a Zoom after party that's going on. There are people who are there from everywhere, and they are ready to chat with you and to share. You can have breakout groups, and it's a way to keep being in a community. And I am so pleased with that. And it's been really good watching that grow and develop, and how close all those relationships come. We have people that come in from out of town, from out of the country, sometimes just to fellowship in real time and real people with folks that they've met in the chat groups that we have, our coffee chats that we have on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on midday, as well as this Zoom after party. There's so many ways to participate with us. I invite you to go to our calendar and check it out. See what's going on. Some things are virtual, some things are in person. Next week, first Sunday, we will be meeting in person at the 418 Project downtown, the Oak River Street Theater from 3 to 5. If you're in the area, we invite you to join us. Lots of things going on. Check us out on our calendar. And I invite you to participate in divine circulation. I invite you to share, to give, to make a contribution to Inner Light. I know that I make contributions to so many different places. I'm a recurring donor at so many different places because I want to be part of their sustainability. And it's also my way to say I love you. I can't be everywhere. So my support is a way to let you know that I love you. So as it comes up on your screen, right now, there's a QR code. So you're able to put your mobile device right to that and get straight to the donate section on our website if you like, or you can go straight to the website from your computer or any other device. You do have the option, as I said, to make that a recurring donation. And I say thank you to all of you who give, who support on a consistent basis. And even if it's a one-time gift, just hearing from you, it warms our heart and empowers us to keep doing the work that we're doing. You can use Cash App, $ Inner Light Ministries. There's a text number too, if you prefer to text. If you are one who uses Amazon, I want to encourage you to select Inner Light Ministries as the recipient for charitable contributions, and a percentage of your purchases come to Inner Light Ministries if they're eligible purchases. So it's like a double win. You don't even have to spend more money. You put it in there, and once a month, we do get something back from Amazon. I think it's about once a month, but it's fairly frequently. That's a percentage where people are showing their love. So I just want to say thank you for that. And it really, really makes a difference. We're an independent ministry. We don't have a big headquarters or part of a big denomination. So literally, it's the community. It's the community that funds us to do the work that we do and to keep reaching out to you. So I'm going to invite Love Eternal to come back and give us a closing song.
Thank you so much, Rev.
I'm on divine time and I'm listening. Freedom is free from the need to be free, right? I don't know who quoted that.
I also got this great quote that I wanted to share with you because it rocked my world the other day. You're afraid of surrender because you don't want to lose control, but you never had control. All you had was anxiety. And that's by Elizabeth Gilbert. And yeah, that one got me good the other day. So this last song is called Love and Understanding, and it's about love and understanding. We've been fighting for so long, nobody know how it begun, but we got a choice to make. We can put down all these weapons of destruction, realize that we got a world at stake. We've been making bombs for so long now. Somebody wants to drop them. And now if we don't keep dropping them, we might just have to start talking. But these cultural divides will only be unified with love, love and understanding. Oh, these cultural divides will only be unified with love, love and understanding. Unified with love, unified with love, unified with love, love and understanding. Unified with love, Unified with love. Unified with love. Can you tell me once again why do these people gotta die? Cause all that propaganda don't stand a chance next to the sound of one single child cry. We've been making bombs for so long now. Somebody wants to drop them. And now if we don't keep dropping them, we might just have to start talking. But these cultural divides will only be unified with love. Love and understanding. Oh, these cultural divides will only be unified with love. Love and understanding. Unify with love. Unified with love. Unify with love. Unify. Unified with love. Unified with love. Unified with love. Unified. Unified with love. Unified with love. Unified with love. Unified. Unified with love. Unified with love. Unified with love. Unified.
Well, that's an amen. Let us take this consciousness and multiply.
Multiply it.
See you next week.